It is Thursday, the 13th of February 2025, and the European session is just about to begin. Last evening, I left a trade open in the Dow Jones Index. I was long from here. As you can see, I closed the first position here, and then I decided to let the other position run. I was hoping that it might rally into the close, so I gave it a chance, but it didn't. It started losing steam, so I decided to exit here. I didn't want to leave it overnight and pay overnight fees. So I finished with nice few wins. So after like 7 losses in a row, I finished with 4 wins in a row, and actually finished like $50 in profit on the day, which goes to show just how much or how important it is to just stick to your plan, even when things go poorly. Don't get emotional, don't overtrade, don't look for bad entries, don't look to get into the market. If you still have valid entries available to you, take them. Don't be afraid to take them because you've already lost 7 trades, especially if they're on proven entries, proven triggers, proven strategies, completely part of your plan. As long as you don't force anything, you can continue trading, of course. And as long as obviously your account is not under risk of breaking the max daily loss. So with that in mind, I will continue taking my mechanical entries. I have quite a few planned for today as well. I have taken the break of the 8:30 15-minute candle, as I did yesterday. The 8:30 15-minute candle, that is 8:30 my time, which is GMT +2. So it's the 6:30 15-minute candle for London time, just as a reference. I will actually today, compared to yesterday, give more weight to the first 15-minute bar in the London session in gold. So I am planning on taking the break of this candle. If we don't get stopped out, but this candle breaks to the downside, I will be canceling that long position and will be going short instead. So I will let this run, but if we don't get stopped and we break below and we get triggered short, I will just cancel this and go short. So I am putting more value on the first 15-minute bar, which is what I should have done yesterday. So the first entry we're gonna probably have here is off the first 5-minute bar in the UK 100. It looks like it's going to be a negative bar, which means we will buy right below it, but only if it closes negative, and if price goes below it, I will place a order at that time. And then I will wait for the completion of the second 5-minute bar in the DAX and first 15-minute bars in the Dow and in gold. Now the second 5-minute bar in the DAX, this has been an entry I have taken previously, and I used to take every day for weeks in January and in December of last year. But then it started cooling off, and now it's showing signs that it might be coming back. And my research shows that I am supposed to take it today with smaller sizing. So it's just starting to work again. I'm going to use smaller sizing just to take advantage if it works, and if it doesn't, I won't lose as much. So if you're new here, I take mechanical entries. I wait for certain bars to complete, and then I place a buy order above it and a sell order below. I follow the first fill, and I delete the other order, place the stop in its spot, and then I just let things run. I decide on a target, both based on my research of what I generally make on that move, and also by looking at the structure, of course. But this way, it just allows me to follow price action in a direction without me having a bias or stressing about are we going to go up, are we going to go down. I just follow the price wherever it wants to go, and I just focus on my research to decide which candles I bracket with buy and sell orders. So I'm just going to place this right below. Just going to go with a sizing of $2 per point here. And you just hate it when it does this. It just equals the bar and it doesn't fill you in, and now it's going to rally most likely, so I'm going to miss out. But I don't like to enter manually on these because you can get some random price movements and really bad fills if you do it manually. Let's just hope it goes just below here. Come on. There we go. Okay, so on this strategy, I just risk a fixed amount of 18 points every time. Research shows me that this is the right stop loss. Obviously, as we see here, the stop loss is right above previous day low. This blue bar represents previous day low, and the upper one represents previous day high. These are important levels that I always take note of. And the square boxes, or the rectangulars, are the previous sessions. So blue is Asia session, green is New York session from yesterday, and yellow is London session. And for me, the extremities of these sessions are just very relevant. They're usually pivot points. They can also be support and resistance. But usually how I do it is, if we're on a higher time frame, if we're in an uptrend, then I do expect reversals at the bottom of ranges. And generally a reversal looks like a dump below and then a strong move back into the range. That is a long signal for me. So you would expect a reaction here right below yesterday's New York session, perhaps. But I do realize, looking at the structure, that we could just dump to previous day low and I would get stopped out. But I'm just going to trust my research that 18 points is enough. And as a target, if we go back into the range here, I would expect us to go back into Asia range quite strongly. So I'm just going to target like $60 here, risking 45. And that is a mechanical entry. And whatever happens, I don't really stress about it. So now I'm going to focus on the second 5-minute bar in the DAX. We'll wait for that to complete. I will look at the amount of points the bar has, meaning the size of the bar, because this will allow me to determine the sizing as I am placing the orders above and below. So the stop is going to be at the other side. And I just want to risk $25 to $30 on this move. So like maximum 0.3% on the account. So I'll pause you for 2 minutes here and bring you back. Bringing you back here, we're going to complete the second 5-minute bar in a moment. Now I'm actually not going to take this bar because it just became a bit too large. So it's from 426 to 363. That is almost a 60-point 5-minute bar, which is not something that I like. This would force me, if I just want to risk $30, this would force me to take it in a very small size. And I would have to, market would have to seriously dump for me to make any reasonable profit here. So I'm just going to pass on that. I do pass on some entries if the trigger bar is just too large. So I would be filled short here, but I am expecting, with the DAX being so bullish, I am expecting this to perhaps touch previous day high, because in this case we are above previous day high already. So it could easily just test this and continue, but this isn't the main reason I'm turning down the trade. Like I said, the main advantage of this strategy is that you don't really have to look at biases or look at support, resistance, any of that stuff. You can just take everything mechanically. But the main reason why I'm turning down this trade is the size of the bar and the fact that to even get a 1-to-1, so you would need market to move all the way over here, and that is just a bigger move, a much bigger move than that this particular entry has returned lately. So it's just not likely statistically. So with that said, I'm just going to wait for the first 15-minute bars to complete in the Dow and in gold. And now, if any of these bars are too large as well, I might also pass on these. Currently, the Dow bar, and I measure from wick to, so I measure the wicks as well. So just looking at the extremities, from 380 to 330 basically. So it's a 50-point bar. This is still okay. And on this entry, I would like to risk like my usual $50, so 0.5% on the account. So that you would think that generally means $1 per point. However, I do also employ a 5-point cushion, so I don't place my sell order here. I place it 5 to 6 points down, and same with the buy order, 5 to 6 points cushion, because you just want to avoid some of the bad fills you can take. And we've gotten stopped out on my 830 on my 830 entry, which is fine. So we're going to focus on taking the first 15-minute bar in gold as well. And this is actually going to be a bit of a larger entry, larger size. 2 minutes until we complete the bar. So from 18 to 20 so far, 6 points. It's going to require an adjustment in sizing, but let's see what happens. So here, with the cushion and all, I'm just going to have to go just a bit lower. And we're 1 minute away, so I think I'm safe to place the long order. I don't think price will return so fast to catch me off guard. So let's say this is 6 points above the bar, and this is 6 points below. Let's see, 31. So let's go like 25.80. I think that's fine. And we are 30 seconds away, so I think it's okay to place these now. Now with gold here, it's a bit more tricky because we are at the very extremity, lower extremity, so I can't really place this until the bar completes, because we can get filled before the bar completes, and that's generally bad. And it is an 8-point bar, which makes things a bit difficult. I'm probably going to go a bit smaller in size, but just going to wait for this just a bit. Let's go 0.06, because this was supposed to be a larger risk entry. And usually for gold it's like 0.5 to 0.6 cushion. Let's do it like that. Now you could look at this and say, well, gold has been rallying for so long. Do you really want to get filled short here? And I'll admit it's perhaps not as comfortable for me to get the short fill as the long fill would be. But this was the case yesterday as well. And look at this is the first 15-minute bar of yesterday. So just to show the entries here, just a bit above to include the cushion and a bit below. So we would have gotten filled. This isn't where it's supposed to be. It's like here with the cushion and here for the short order. So this would have been the long order and this would have been the short order. And we would have been filled short and it would have worked. And similarly to here, we were close to the low of Asia range, so you might have felt like you were going to be filled short into support in an uptrend, but as you can see, it can still work. So you can take these mechanically without being too concerned about support, about resistance, especially since my research provides a very objective way to decide if I'm going to take an entry mechanically or not. I basically have a score of sorts that is mathematically calculated, and it just provides a rating for each entry. So when the rating is good enough to take the trade, to take the mechanical entry, I just know I can confidently take it whichever way it fills. Now sometimes I do perhaps turn down an entry in extreme conditions, but it doesn't happen often. So we got filled short in the Dow. I'm just placing the stop right above the other extremity, so where the buy order used to be, risking $52. You can just see it there. So this is a normal risk of 0.5% on the account. Now I'm just going to quickly look at my spreadsheet where I track these entries. And I'm going to look at how many points I've won on this particular entry recently. So I've won 50 points, 90 points, 40, 42, 70, 55, 54, 35, 77, and 100. Now I'm also going to look at the structure. And let's see, this is 45 points. And this is 50 points. So let's just put the TP here for now. We could probably aim for like 70 points, but that's a bit on the high side. I think the safest entry for this is like 50 points. Now it's a bit less than 1-to-1 R, but it's still valid. Just gonna go right below this. And gonna let things run now. It does look like this first bar negative entry isn't working out. We might still get a bounce off the lows here. Like I said, I'm perfectly aware that this could push all the way down to previous day low. It's an obvious magnet. But I'm gonna just apply my strategy and use the 18 points like I said. I'm never gonna move a stop loss further. I might raise it, but I'll never move a stop loss further or delete the stop loss. So I do believe that for this strategy to work and for you to be a successful trader, you do need hard stops. I know it's annoying when you just get clipped and price reverses in your favor and you miss out. That happens a lot and you just have to accept it. Like here yesterday for me, I was short this very index from here. Look where I got stopped out just before the sell into CPI. But I was perfectly okay with it and continued my day, continued with my strategy, and still ended in profit without chasing a single trade. So I'm just waiting for things to unfold here. Perhaps not the most exciting of starts, but yeah, 2 losses to start the day, nothing too unusual. Now, normally the first 15-minute bar is something that I also place sell and buy orders above and below. However, this is just too big of a bar. So for the UK 100, I want the first 15-minute bar to be 20 points or lower. It is currently way bigger than 20 points, it's like 40 points, so that is a no-go. So now the next entry for this index for me is the break of the second 15-minute candle, so I'll just wait for this to form instead. And if this completes and fills me to the short side, I have no problem in taking that. I'm not going to look at what happened before and think, oh, we've already sold a lot, we can't sell anymore. It is a mechanical entry and I'm going to follow it wherever it goes, and if it fails, it fails. So that is the philosophy that you need to apply the strategy. For the DAX, my next entry, let me just quickly check here. My next entry will be the break of the fifth 15-minute candle. So I'm not taking the second 15-minute candle in the DAX. I'm just waiting. And here you can see the importance of using the cushion. Had I placed my sell order just at the extremity, we would have gotten filled in almost instantly. The cushion just saves you from a few bad entries. Now this double bottom here, honestly you could make a case for a long entry here in the UK 100, no doubt. If you look at the structure, we are just going below on the daily, and you are going to have some sort of reaction here generally. Especially if you're a scalper, you can go for this. But I would probably want to see price go a bit below this wick. You might want to catch some folks who are rushing into a long position. Let me just look at the hourly as well. We might be going even as low as this, just to screw everybody. So I'm gonna be a bit speculative here and do a non-mechanical entry. So if price goes to this level, I will be filled long. And just using here some discretion, basically placing my buy order where I think a lot of people who are buying right now will place their stop. So they'll just place their stop below here. So I do think there are days in which we will just dump below previous day low and stop those people out as well before resuming the move up. So if I am to go long here on a discretionary entry, I prefer it to be here. If we don't get it and we just rally from here, that's fine too. I just like to be extra cautious if I'm not taking a mechanical entry. And the Dow is pushing lower, but we do need some more weakness here and sellers to keep being strong. We're obviously going to have a reaction here right below this, but I'm just hoping that we touch TP before reversing, if we do indeed reverse. You could say that there's a case to place this lower for sure. We still haven't reversed this post CPI sell, if we use Fibonacci from the high of this bar to the low, we retraced to like 72 to 79%. This is obviously an ideal area for a reversal. So we could probably on some days expect to go lower. I'm just going to look at the research and what I generally managed to make on this entry. So I think this is a valid target, which I would hope to hit. And if the price continues lower after that, I won't really care. And now DAX has gone below previous day low. That's just a clean reversal pattern. If we now close into Asia range, now I could be speculative here and just go long now, because in case this just hard reverses now and the bar closes like around here, it's not going to be as good of an entry, obviously. But I do want to wait 3 extra minutes here to see what happens. So I do some discretionary trading as well, but this is my core price action entry model, which is in an uptrend you go below a clear level, which in this case is Asia session low and previous day high, which has been retested. We rated below, stopped people out, and then we're going to continue upwards. And I've taken this exact setup in the past few days with success on this channel. But we're still looking pretty bearish, so I don't want to rush into it. You can easily get tricked here and go long before the close. A lot of people are, and sometimes you'll get screwed and sometimes you'll get rewarded. That's also, up to you how much you want to risk. How aggressive you want to be. For me, I prefer to just wait for the candle close here. 2 minutes left. And the Dow is quite close to our TP. Hopefully we do touch it. It'd be nice to get a win after not the greatest of starts. I generally don't like to leave the open P&L. I don't think there's much to gain in watching the numbers go up and down all the time. It doesn't bother me anymore, but in the past it did, so I just taught myself to switch to a neutral tab here. But I'll leave it for you. I know you like to watch that. This is the key moment, and we just hit it, so that's nice. That was a nice TP, bit under 1-to-1 R, but I do think it's important to look at the structure sometimes as well for the targets. Now this can continue lower, but I used my research to decide this entry coupled with the structure, and to me this was the most likely level. And we're 20 seconds away from completing this bar, and if we close into Asia session here, just quickly, so 350, it's like 30 points. I won't go an incredibly high size here, but I'm just gonna wait for the close and see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna go long here, and I'm gonna place my stop right below not this low, but let's say risking 45 here, right below this area here. You would hope that this low holds now though. And as a target, I generally go towards the high end of Asia session. But let's just be a bit more conservative. I will go just a bit above the half point. So I'm still gonna respect the supply here. I think this has a higher chance of hitting. But let's see. It's still looking quite bearish still. But I've fully respected my rules here. Oops, what did I do? Oh, I moved my TP by accident. So it was here, right? Around here. The target. Okay, so I'm just gonna let things run now. If I get stopped out here, then this setup just didn't work this time around. So we raided the lows, closed back into Asia session and above previous day high again. So to me this looks like a retest that held. Now obviously we can just continue selling from here. But let's see. I'll pause you for now and bring you back when we're closer to another entry or something happening. I have actually deleted my buy order here. Reason being, actually, like I said earlier, I normally would have been using the second 15-minute bar and the UK 100 as a trigger as well. It is currently, so from 71 to 55, it is like a 16-point bar, so this is actually, this should be a short trigger here. Placing this right above, so risking $50, normal sizing. And on this entry I've made 21, 25 points, 18, 19, 30, 19, 16, 13, 21, 15, 13, and 7. So I think between 15 and 20 is a reasonable target here. Let's just look at the structure a bit as well. So this is 15 points. This is 18. Let's just go 18 points here. Again, risking just a bit below a 1-to-1, but that's fine. This is supported by the strategy. I could go 20 points. I could go even as high as 25 or 30, but that's the more optimistic outlook. So just to increase our likelihood of hitting here, let me just look at the 30-minute as well. Yeah, let's just go to the low side of this bar, right at this breakout. So targeting 44, risking 49. That's almost a 1-to-1. And if we get the reversal here, then that's fine as well. But I'm just placing more trust in my mechanical entry than in my discretionary, oh, we're at support, we're gonna reverse here. Simply because generally when you do see a reversal, it's faster. You see a fast move below to hit the stops and then a fast move back into the range. It's not really happening here. So I'm very comfortable with this entry, and if it doesn't work, it's just one mechanical entry that didn't work. And for gold now, we would also be entering off the second 15-minute bar. So right now I will just move this order here at the break of the second 15-minute bar. And if we're strong, and let's say we get filled long, and then we go above here and close, I'm going to add another entry as well. So let's see. Yeah, it's looking pretty bearish still. I think we're gonna get stopped in the DAX, so definitely made a lower low here, which you don't really see when this strategy works. So when the strategy works, basically at the close here, you just keep going upwards and quite quickly. So yeah, I think this trade looks good now. And we could have held lower here, but like I said, I'm perfectly happy with this execution here. And the target, so let's see, quite a bearish open. I'll pause you now. I've been talking for quite a while. I do like to explain the strategy because I know that it's not something that you see often. Most traders just use some sort of discretionary system, price action, ICT, SMT, and other popular systems. So I just felt like I should explain the strategies more so that everything is clear. But now I'll pause you and just let things unfold, and whatever happens, happens. So we did get filled short here. So I'm deleting the long order. I'm just going to place the stop above the second 15-minute bar here, because it's an inside bar, and we basically also have it as a target. I'll first just target this low of Asia session here. It's also supported by my research. 9 points, 10 points, 8 points has been the norm on these entries. So we are basically at 8 points here at the low. That is perfect. Just gonna let it run like that. Now I do have a mechanical model for adding to my positions as well. So looking at the ATR here on the 5-minute chart, the ATR is 3. So if we move 3 points in our favor in the next 5 minutes, so that is 2906, around here. If we move here and close here on the 5-minute chart, I will add to my position. So pausing you again, let's see what happens. So we are pushing back here into the range on the DAX again, which is interesting. Like if this bar closes at its highs, that to me is actually also an add-on, because we went lower, made another low, but then spiked back up. And yes, this is an add-on. Smaller size than the original. I'm gonna place it in the same place exactly. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the same exact target. But let's say we go above this and we stumble, I might close one of them just to be on the safe side. Or what I could do also is for the add-on I could target higher. Yeah, let's do it like that, and I'll just actively manage and see what happens. And this isn't the reaction you want to see on gold. Obviously, Obviously we just touched previous day high, and it's acting as support. And again, of course I see this, but I'm trusting my mechanical strategy and my entries to take me wherever they take me, because it's proven to work over time, so results on any given day don't really matter that much, as long as we keep the account safe, which we are with good risk management. So I'm just going to let things play out. I think an add-on here is out of the question for now. So I'm just going to let things play out and we'll see what happens. And we are very close to a TP here in the UK 100. Let's see if we can get it on video. The others aren't really looking that healthy now, but you know, it's close. How have I not hit here? Bid-ask spread is something, huh? I just need a bit more. I'm getting trolled now. Watch it reverse. Okay, and we did hit. No drama there. So as you can see, I do think this is also an important lesson here. A lot of people would have been very reluctant to short after such a strong move lower already. You would think that this would act as support and you wouldn't want to get involved short, but I just followed my mechanical strategy, which just takes guesswork out of the equation, and it was another decent TP. So now we have the other three positions. We're in the red, but I'm just gonna wait. And if we get stopped out, that's okay. It's still part of the strategy. We are applying an edge over time, like a casino would do on a roulette table or blackjack table or whatever. So a few bad losses don't matter when you have an edge over time. So I'm pausing you again and letting things run here, and I'll bring you back when we have something of interest to show. I was just getting ready to bring you back and tell you that we were going to get stopped out in these entries, and that it hasn't worked out, and it definitely hasn't worked out so far, but then we bounced back up a bit again. There's definitely some demand here, and the reason why I've chosen this stop loss was because it was just below this consolidation here before moving back up in the Asia session, but also because it's the high of New York session, or it's just below the high of New York session. So I was expecting this area to act as support, and obviously I'm getting a bit lucky here not to get stopped out, but hopefully we can make another attempt here. But yeah, generally this is pretty much for me an A+ setup, and obviously can still fail, but I do not regret at all going along here or my add-on. These were perfectly according to my rules and experience and research of this very setup. And now we've just seemed to have slowed down quite a bit and everything, but that's fine, just have to be patient, and I'll now just bring you back when I get stopped out or when we just move into profit, if that happens. So let's see. So we've had quite the nice reversal in the DAX here, so just stay patient. And now I've actually added an extra add-on, again 0.8, so same size as the previous add-on. Now, why did I add this? I also had the 15-minute bar break on my list today. Obviously, I couldn't add here because I was not in profit. But when we closed here above all of these candles, and this is now a 15-minute strong close back into the range, and a bullish close, that is. This is very supportive of continuation. So I'm just gonna go right above this. Or actually, since I've placed the stop here, let me just bring the stop further up here. I'll just go right below this trigger bar, and I'll target a 1-to-1 on this entry. So let's do it like this. So this way I make more money when I'm right. This to me looks like a textbook reversal setup now. This is extra confirmation. We were lucky to avoid a stop here, but now I think we should ride this and see where it can go. I have different take profits just because I do want to have nice exposure here, and in case we move higher, I don't want to just be conservative with all three. So let's see what happens. A good initial reaction here. Just going to be patient as always. I might consider closing the original one once we get here. Just because, let's see. Yeah, let's do it like that. Just because I do have enough exposure to the upside now. So I'm not missing out if price continues going forward. But since it's the larger entry, let's just target $58 here in a 1-to-1 essentially, and then we'll let the others run. So let's just do it like this. A bit more proportional. Okay, pausing you again, and let's see if we can turn this around now. So I have just decided to close the original entry early for, I think, obvious reasons here. I do still have 2 open trades, and just in case this area here holds, we're getting close to half of Asia session here. Just in case this this holds, sorry. So in the event we just get a full-on reversal here, obviously that would be quite painful. So I'm just protecting myself against that, while still leaving plenty of room and letting the move unfold if it wants to continue going forward. I think it is also appropriate to bring the second stop loss to this area as well. So now I'm just risking $50 total on both positions, while targeting $40 and $63. So it's essentially a 2-to-1. Still plenty of exposure left, and I'm just protecting myself here in case, in case you get a full reversal here. So I think that's good management. We are looking like we're going to get stopped out in gold. Now these entries in gold have been very good in the past few weeks. They look to be not that good today, but can't win every day. So we would have hit TP on the original entry. I just turned it down like 10 to 12 extra dollars for that. That's fine. And now I'm just going to let things run here. If we hit this TP in the next few minutes, I might just raise this even further. But let's see. It's a nice reversal here, obviously. It just shows what good stop loss positioning and patience can do. Obviously, you can say that I got lucky, and I did, but we've seen other times where you just get stopped out and then the market goes in your favor, so this is the opposite of that. Bad luck and good luck even themselves out over time. So this is why it's so important to not get emotional when you lose, when you have a bit of bad luck. It's gonna even out. Just keep applying your rules, keep letting your edge play out, and don't do anything rash. Don't go on tilt. Just keep following your strategy, especially if you know that your strategy works. Then there's no reason to do anything emotional, anything too reactionary. So I'm just gonna let everything play out, of course, and I'll bring you back for the resolution. So we've hit TP in the first add-on, or one of the add-ons, and we got stopped out in gold, which is fine. And we're close to hitting TP in the second one. You know what? I'll actually just manually close this one, simply because we're around the 70-ish retracement zone on this move. So that's enough for this morning. I feel that that has been a very nice session, where once again you could see how just applying a strategy and sticking to it and not letting fear or imaginary supports and resistance stopping you from applying your strategy. It was objective, it was calculated, it was exact. Everything was pre-decided almost, based on my research. The mechanical entries and the reversal decided as well, based on a lot of research. Like I've said, this is my core reversal setup that I've done a billion times, and it's pretty much the only discretionary entry I have. But you could still call it quite mechanical, because I have very specific rules for it. So you have a dump below a key extremity of a previous session, and then a close right back into that range after hitting stops. Now this wasn't as perfect as you would like to see it. Generally it just carries on from here, but this time it tried, and it probably succeeded in stopping out some people before moving upwards. But this time good stop loss placement was perfect basically, and I managed to profit. Other times you will get clipped, like it happened to me yesterday in the UK 100. But the lesson here is to just stick to your plan. And if you have an edge, that edge will play out if you just apply your plan objectively, without the use of emotions, without revenge trading, without doing anything that you're not supposed to do. So hopefully you've gained something from watching that. I post videos daily, and I will be back for the US session. Thank you for watching. Consider liking and subscribing to support the channel, and I highly appreciate that if you do. I post videos daily and just try to show a structured, mechanical way of trading, where you take emotions out, where you take guesswork out, and you just trade according to a plan and grow an account step by step. So we will see what happens in the US session. I will be recording that as well. So see you there.